Welcome to round 3 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of August 3rd. I'm Nicole Erdix, and I'm here with Terry Morrow.
Hello.
And Catherine Haleko.
Hello.
We're moms of teens and young adults, and when it comes to parenting, we've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. But we're still waiting for that day when we'll reach the finish line and have no further need to lay down in a dark room with a wet rag over our eyes worrying about something or other. Wednesday is complaint day here on Parenting Roundabout, and today we are complaining about being the middle mom. So, Terry, I'm going to pass it over to you because you're the one that had the story that inspired this topic.
Day and every day, I am the middle mom. There's tension between two of my family members. And what it basically is my kids are adults now. So there's a degree to which we're all kind of adult roommates. Except we're not, because we're family members, and half of us are the parents and half of us are the kids. And, there's respect to be paid in one direction and love to be given in the other direction. And you can't just treat it like we're sharing a space and you're annoying me. And yet we're sharing a space and we're annoying each other. Mm-hmm. So my daughter and my husband in particular she does things that bug him, and he comments on it in a way that bugs her, and I am constantly in the middle going, don't talk to my husband like that. Don't talk to my daughter like that. Show your father some respect. Show your daughter some, appreciation. I'm just like, I agree with both of them in a lot of cases. And in a lot of cases, it's just nothing more than adults sharing a living space. It's always going to happen. There's nothing to be done about it. The only thing to be done about it is to give each other grace. And I am the only one that seems to feel that's a thing that's needed. Everybody else is. Mm-hmm. The other person needs to do things differently. Well, that's not going to happen. So how about we just stop caring? Is that a possibility? And and they both know that I don't like to be in the middle of it. And yet, I'm still in the middle of it. Each one complains to me about the other. Right. And I'm constantly explaining each one to the other. The reason she does this is, the reason he does that is. And why is that my job? Mm-hmm. And I have even threatened, I'm very stressed right now. I have a ton of work. If this keeps up, I'm just going to have a meltdown. I'm going to scream. I'm going to cry. And then you're all going to feel bad. And nobody cares. Mm-hmm. That should be the mutually assured destruction of threats, right. And yet nobody cares. So I've just been beside myself and not knowing what I should do about this. Should I just walk out every time they start in? Would it make any difference? I don't know. Mm-hmm. I think what it would mean is that later on I would have to apologize to everybody for making a scene. So.
And it would fix it for a moment, and then
it would not fix it.
It would just happen again.
Yes, they would still be annoyed with each other, and then they would also be annoyed at me. So it fixes nothing. I guess since my message to them seems to be, if you would just stop caring, it would go away. I should just stop caring, but I can't.
Right.
Because I got, I think part of it is a fundamental difference in the way I was brought up versus the way my husband was brought up, in that in my house, if anybody raised their voice, it was a big deal. Mm-hmm. And in his house, it was just, Tuesday. Right. So, I get feelings in my nervous system when I hear loud, sarcastic talk, and he thinks it's just nothing. So, and my daughter is very sensitive also. So it's just, but again, he's, as I tell my daughter, 66-year-old guy ain't going to change the way he does things. Mm-hmm. You can change the way you do things. So do you guys have this problem in your families too? It's a mom thing, right? To get stuck in the middle and to be defending one against the other, back and forth on both sides, split in two. Mm-hmm. It's not comfortable.
Yeah, I definitely find myself running interference, particularly between two, like you have, two people who clash.
Mhm.
And I mean, it's not even a big deal. It's just you didn't put this away, or you forgot to pour the water, or it's just they're just little things,
Right.
And if certain, if the young adults had the option to move out, I mean, that's what I did when my parents annoyed me. I had the same thing when I was
Mm-hmm.
in my 20s, and I just got my own apartment. But that's not an
Mhm.
option. So that's the easiest way to deal with it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to commiserate that I'm not sure how to deal with it because, like you said, neither person is particularly wrong. It's just maybe the way that they are interacting with each other could be improved, let's say.
Yeah.
And as you said, it seems like, guys, there's a solution here,
Mhm.
and I don't know why you can't see it. So
Right.
that becomes very frustrating.
Let me explain the solution to each of you at length, then have you completely ignore everything I've said.
Right. But maybe, they can bond over their mutual enemy.
Well, that's what I keep hoping, but it's not working. They have absolute permission to bond over the fact that mom is a little extra and we just need to do this to make her happy. But no, it doesn't work. What do you do if that doesn't work? The endless lectures should, oh my gosh, I'll just be nice to, I'll just, let this all pass so that I don't get another lecture like that. And yet, no, I lecture and lecture until I'm blue in the face.
And I also, part of what frustrates me is that, there's certain kid-related tasks or needs that have gotten to the point where only I can do them because of these type of clashes. And then that adds the layer of resentment for why do I have to do everything to the whole mix? So that's fun.
If it wasn't COVID times, I'd say what needs to happen here is for all three of us to just go away someplace and leave them to themselves for a week or two and see what happens. But
See what happens.
we would come back and they would be happy, and then they would go right back into their old patterns.
Right.
Yeah.
But at least we would have some time off. Nicole, are you struggling with this as well?
Yeah, I do. Well, and the thing is, it's it's like a moot point. It's like, why did I even get involved in the first place? Because, I have two members of my household that are very similar in personality and the way that they deal with conflict and challenges and issues. And it's not overly healthy. So when they are in conflict with one another, it's pretty explosive because of their personality types. So usually I'm called in to either to do the mop up of the damage. And but then it's like I said, it's like an explosion. Once it's over and done with, it's gone, dissipated, and both parties within minutes are fine with each other. It's like, what just happened?
Yeah.
So literally,
and you're still upset. They're fine with each other.
Well, I actually don't even really, I've just been drawn into it to kind of manage the explosion because, it's coming. The explosion is gonna come. So I've been called in to try and stop it. But that never succeeds because they're both on their own, track barreling down the hill. And so then this explosion occurs, and then I'm left mopping it up, and they're fine. They're like, oh, okay, what's the big deal? So, I mean, which is nice because there's never any lasting grudges in my house. If anybody's going to have the lasting grudge, it's me.
Yeah.
But because the way my family operates is, like I said, it's this big kaboom and then it's over. But yeah, the kaboom is a little bit. You kind of want to run for cover, but then it's over. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, so that the thing, I'm never successful in mediating because, these two personalities, they're
Yeah.
on a mission to, yeah, to explode.
Yeah, I mean, my husband is really has a very sarcastic sense of humor, and it's something I love about him. It's something that brought us together, so I'm cool with that. But my daughter, has some language delay, so she doesn't necessarily get it. She doesn't read it well, and that's part of the problem. And I try to, explain this to my husband. It's just, this about her, so don't do it. But it's, who amongst us can just kind of completely change our speech patterns because somebody says so? And on the other hand, she could just learn to ignore it. But that's difficult. So, yeah. I would like to stop being the middle mom. I would like that very much. But
for now,
combination of them and me, I guess, makes it impossible. So I guess I have to take responsibility for my inability to just leave them to it and walk away.
Right, but if they complain to you, that's pretty hard to do.
Yes, they do complain to me. Or they're both huffy, and then I have to say, what happened?
Right, then
why are you this way? And then, it's always, and, my husband is always I don't want to tell you because you'll be upset. I know it upsets you. I know you don't want to hear about it. So I'm just going to go be pissy for the next hour. Well, that doesn't work for me. And I've defended my daughter from people who don't understand her at school for decades. That was my life. That was my mission. And so now I feel the need to do it in my home where it is maybe not, useful to bring the IEP defenses to home life. On the other hand, my husband's a good guy and I wish he had a better relationship with his daughter. So,
yeah,
I'm tired. This is making me tired. I just wish it would stop.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys have any tips? What should I do? Sounds like you haven't found them for yourselves. So.
No.
Listeners, if you have any tips, tell me what I should do.
Yes. Please.
Turn my basement into an office and just stay down there until it's time for bed. Might be an option.
Sort it out.
Let them sort it out. Oh, well.
I don't have a solution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me either.
Yes.
That's why we're the podcast that tells it like it is.
That's right. we tell it like it is and leave you depressed and demoralized with no hope.
Yeah.
And that's it for round.
Yeah, that's it. We're going to come back tomorrow when we'll talk about distance learning, which, is a simple, easy topic.
There you go.
And then on Friday to see what we've come up with for our Roundup picks this week. Find all of our episodes at parentingroundabout.com and talk back in the comments there on our Facebook page or on Twitter where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat.